Every single dust collector in your plant should be equipped with a differential pressure gauge, and it has to be working. It's one of the most tedious and most routine things that we can do, but it's the first thing we mention whenever we do a visit is making sure the differential pressure readings are accurate and reliable. We don't have that reading, and we can't rely on it and trust it. It affects everything we do with regards to maintenance, operation, planning. So we absolutely have to make sure that that system is functioning correctly. This might mean cleaning out the gauges, cleaning out the lines, either weekly or bi-weekly, or installing a device that automatically purges the lines and keeps them clear and clean. But if we don't have that information, we can't make any intelligent decisions about maintenance and operation. So we have to monitor it many times as well. Simply upgrading the gauge from a basic magnehelic gauge, which is just a mechanical gauge you look at, to one that has a 4 to 20 output will allow all of those readings, especially those far-flung bin vents on the top of the silos that takes 20 minutes to get to and up a 150-foot ladder, sending that differential pressure reading down to the control room via 4 to 20 gauge for the extra $50, $80 it costs, was an incredibly wise investment. So making sure those are monitored at all times. And it's also easy to access, reduces a lot of unnecessary labor. Then you're going to obviously want to monitor for any leaks or emissions, whether it's coming out of the dust collector, coming out of the exhaust stack, but also in the plant where you might see fugitive dust coming out of some of the sources. If it's not collecting enough of the dust and dust is getting out, it means there's a problem somewhere. Other things you can monitor if you really want to try to optimize, especially on your larger, maybe your key systems, how much compressed air you're using, the pulse valve performance. You might also want to have something that's monitoring that dust is being discharged through the airlock on the bottom, things like fan vibration, RPMs. You can also monitor emissions coming up to track the life of the filter bags. All of these things can be done on any unit, but we recommend them particularly on your most important units, your crushers, your dryers, anything that's permitted, because that's where you're really going to see the most benefit from it. And then finally, a lot of things that cause poor performance in the dust collectors can be traced back to shortcoming in the maintenance plan. So using the wrong kind of filters, letting them run too long, not taking care of these basic regular maintenance tasks. But some of it comes back to design flaws. So things like using the wrong filter media, undersizing the dust collection system, not designing the hood to the source capture very well, or as we said, modifying it over time, adding more pickups, diverting things around, butchering and chopping up and pasting back together the ductwork. Also, though, things like not having the dust collector settings correct. All of these kinds of things affect greatly performance elsewhere in the plant. So if you have a dust collector where you see a lot of dust forming at the pickups, or it's just dusty in your plant, you have to look at the whole system and find out where the problem is. Not often just that the baghouse is not doing well, it's often a victim of other things. So being able to diagnose and troubleshoot problems from a systemic perspective is really essential to making sure that you get the best performance out of your systems.